Hello everybody, my name is Ian Lee. I'm an old-time Western swing and jazz musician out of Central Texas. This is the fourth video in my series, Let's Practice Together. The whole idea and intention behind the series is to work out the technical and theoretical aspects to music and the violin, and provide some really simple, accessible tools to those of you who might be struggling or are unfamiliar, or you're just starting to get to know some of these concepts and know these ideas in music and on the fiddle. And of course my hope is that they'll help you to grow in your musicianship, which will make it easier to do just about anything else that you want to do, whether it's learning fiddle tunes or learning a solo or creating whatever it is you're trying to do in your music, in your style. All these things are incredibly beneficial to work on. And the great thing is you don't have to do them a lot. You don't have to spend an hour on your technique every day. You spend a little bit, but just do a little bit every day. And you'd be surprised in a year or just a few months what this kind of work will do for your playing. And I promise you that every musician that you really love to listen to and play, copy their music, the stuff that you love to learn, right? They are aware of these things, even if they don't use the same language I'm using. Wes Montgomery, a famous jazz guitar player, he knew about the sounds he was playing. He may not have called it a 2-5-1 when he started talking about the theory of the chord progression, but he knew and had his own language and way of singing the guitar. So these categorizations are great things to practice and to understand. So anyways, if you have anything that you're working on that you're struggling with, or something you've had a question about and you are having trouble figuring out the answer or finding the answer, please leave me a comment down below or email me. I have my email in the description, and I'd love to answer it if I can. At least I'll do my very best to help you. So in today's video I thought we would cover arpeggios. In the last 3 videos we covered 1 octave A major scale, D major, and G major scale. So I thought we'd actually cover A, D, and G major arpeggios, so we'll do all 3. We won't separate them into different videos, and there's a reason why, because the shapes are actually the same across all 3, at least in this one shape I'm going to show you. So this is one of the great things about the violin and about music, is it's so symmetrical. There's so much beautiful geometry in music, in the way that it works, and also on our instruments, and we can learn to take advantage of that and learn things very quickly instead of having to feel like we have to learn everything individually and separately. So let's go over A major first, and then we'll just transfer the ideas to D and G. So I'm going to play these notes slowly, and you're more than welcome to play them with me. So we're going to have an A natural, it's an open A, a C sharp, which is our 2 on A, an open E, and then a 3 on the E string, which is an A. So an arpeggio, if you are unfamiliar with that term and what that means, I read this in a book from a jazz guitar player named George Van Epps, and I love what he said about arpeggios. He said, "Arpeggios are liquid chords, and chords are frozen arpeggios." So another way I say this to my students all the time is, my name is Ian. So Ian is like the way I would say it if I were a chord, right? If I was an arpeggio, I would spell it out, I-A-N. So think of a chord as something that we play, everything's kind of at the same time. Think about a piano player playing a chord, or a guitar player, or even on the fiddle I can play a chord, whereas I can arpeggiate that chord, meaning I spell it out. Because every chord has a way to spell it. And if you spell it differently, it's no longer that chord. A little obvious there, forgive me. So we have open A, C sharp, E, 3 on A, or E, excuse me. So A, C sharp, and E spell A major. Now that same shape that I just played, where we play open, 2, open, 3, we can transfer that to the D and A strings. But it will then make a D major arpeggio. So let's try that. We have D, F sharp, or 2, open A, 3 on A, or D again. So we're playing the octave at the top there. And surely you've heard that kind of sound. Alright, probably sounds familiar now that you're doing it. And now we're going to play a G major arpeggio. So we'll take that same shape and we'll put it on the G and D strings. Open G, 2 on G, open D, 3 on D. Okay? So those notes are G, B, D, G. And that's how you spell the G major chord. So now I'm actually going to practice this like I've done at the other on the other videos, right? Where I'm actually going to play through it. I'll stick with the shuffle bow pattern, that I've been doing, and I'll play a full shuffle bow, so on each note. And what I do when I get to the bottom, so what I'll do is I'll play, and then I'll transfer over to the D string and play the D arpeggio, and then transfer back to the G arpeggio from there. So if that feels a little confusing, use your ears, have a listen and watch, and don't be afraid to watch and listen as much as you need. And of course, get in there and just try it. There's nothing wrong with just getting in there, having some fun, and making a bunch of mistakes. It's really the best way to learn. Don't wait to understand it before you try. One of my favorite guitar players and teachers used to tell me, do first and ask questions later. So let's play through these arpeggios. We'll start on the A string. Ready, go. D string. G string. And those are the 3 arpeggios, A, D, and G major, using that one shape. I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you next time.